Hello everyone, welcome back. So today we're going to be playing Twisted Fate, and we'll be facing off against the Grand Heist adventure from the Rogues of Runeterra campaign. I just want to get this last run with Twisted Fate in before I tackle the recently released 10-star adventure. I feel like that will generate 3 videos by itself because of how long it will actually be. In the meantime, Twisted Fate. I'm taking the 3-star. I only have the 3-star Twisted Fate, so we don't really have a win condition in our powers. So what I'm thinking is that I just take Chemtech Duplicate the Right Angel Staff and try to cast big spells and maybe get a victory through them. And then we have the Grand General's counterplan, so I can get more copies of either Twisted Fate or Twisted Fate's champion spell, so I can draw more cards. The Ezreal encounter is going to be extremely hard, because I feel like we won't be able to keep up with the damage output. I guess we'll just try to draft maybe big spells. They do get the item that reduces their cost by the number of cards we draw in a turn. So maybe that's the win condition. N is interesting. Katarina. If only we had a way to reduce the cost of Katarina, she would be a win condition in and of herself with these items, but I can't really draft towards that, I think. I guess we just need to pick up a support champion that's useful, and none of these are useful. Vizet, Sejuani. Why Twisted Fate used to be a standard deck, right? If I'm not mistaken. Because you could just control the board and use Vi as a win con. Sejuani is interesting because of the power. If we draw a bunch of cards, we'll be able to drop down Sejuani for free. Maybe that's the play. And then we cut Ruthless Raider and the Wolf Rider because they're not that useful. But then we'll be stuck in Freljord, and Freljordian spells are not really synergistic with our game plan. We're better off just picking up Piltover and Zone. Cost reduced Sejuani or Vi. I'm really feeling the Vi. Let's go for this. It's mostly because Piltover and Zone is a better region combination. Higher Education gives us a bunch more lethality. I guess we'll pick it up. Though Treacherous Terrain is probably better, right? Because it stalls the opponent. That might be the difference between us losing and not. Pokestick Grifter's deck. It replaces itself. Sure, it's a decent spell. True Shot Barrage or Static Shock. Let's pick up the Static Shock because 2 mana deal to draw 1. And it's less clunky. Yeah, Binworn, Exalted Cloudwinder, Razor Scale Hunter. We need something that deals damage to the opponent's Nexus Order, otherwise we'll never win. Let's reroll this. Some Treasure, Heimerdinger. Aftershock. Heimerdinger can be our win con, right? Just get a bunch of turrets? Nah, they'll be small. That's not good enough. I guess I can do some treasure for a somewhat above stated card. Free Candlelit Prayer. Gotcha or Chump Wump. None of these are that great. I really want something that gives us a win condition. Guess Pharaoh's Financer gives us a spell. The Android can refill our spell mana, but that's not good enough. Pilfered Goods, maybe? I guess. The Decant of the Challenge is awkward. The Crystal Webex is a no. I'm not really getting anything that's good. Victor can sort of act as a win condition. Assembly line can generate blockers. I guess we're picking up the assembly line. Our last card, Progress Day. Don't really feel the Progress Day. Maybe the Eminent Benefactor is better to discover something, an epic card from my regions. Maybe that will give us a good spell. We are in Piltover and Bilgewater, so we have some lethality from that. We also have Bundle City in the mix. I feel like this is a decent first turn. We'll be able to go Candlelit Prayer, Pharaoh's Financer, Updraft, Eclectic Collection, I suppose. Let's updraft one of these. We'll get something that's playable here. No, but it will be useful in the following turns. This will allow me to block the Pharaoh's Financer. This is focus, okay, it's focus, so I can just do this. Shuffle the card back into the deck to draw one. Let's do assembly line, get 2 blockers, then we'll use the suit up to protect one of our units. Like so. Guess we'll block here, here, and here. Let's try to minimize the amount of damage I take. We have 72 health, but we don't have a lot of regeneration, so you can't really heal that much in between encounters. I think we'll try to chip away at the opponent's board, so we'll do red card. Can also do blue card, try to cycle through our deck faster. I think we want to cycle through our deck faster. That's something that's playable here. Keep cycling. We really want more cards, or to draw more cards, so we'll do this. Next turn we have a very awkward turn. We'll take a bunch of damage if the opponent doesn't give us priority back. Okay, the opponent attacks right away without passing priority. So we're taking a billion damage here. I can use Twisted Fate to block. I guess we're using Twisted Fate to block because I have no better options. Damn, 30 damage is way too much. Let's do assembly line. We'll drop down the ephemeral Twisted Fate. Draw one.
Eyes open.
I want to keep the Eminent Benefactor, so let's do this. Now we're generating the wild cards from our power. We'll do this. I'll just updraft this one back into the deck. Try to keep as many of my resources up as possible. I might be able to use them for the victory. Yeah, I've finally reached the point where we're doubling our spell casts. Let's do Pharaoh's Financer. We'll find something decent here. X-Tech Transmogulator is interesting. There goes my Twisted Fate. We have the pick a card in our hand. I guess we'll use the pick a card. Or the pick a card will transform back into the Twisted Fate and we can use that. Let's red card here.
people.
We need to start chipping away at the opponent's health total somehow.
See what we see, soldier.
There goes the opponent's board. Do we get double the wild cards? Yes, we do. Okay, that's good. We'll just chip away at the opponent's board like this. Then we can use a wild card to draw 2. Refill 2 spell mana for 1. Let's updraft this one. We're drawing a bunch. We might be able to force the opponent to take a bunch of damage here from our overstated units. Well, at very least we can force trades. Get the opponent closer to death. We are going to overdraw here. As long as I can keep shuffling pokey sticks into the deck, I think we'll be fine. Removing the Twisted Fate yet again. Sure. Let's try to do Twisted Fate for a red card.
Who says I don't share?
And then we'll use the Static Shock to clear 2, block these 2 here. How close are we to decking out? We're extremely close. Can drop down the Vi, not yet. We'll avoid the discard. Next turn we have lethal. With just the damage we have on board, right? No, we don't. We can Pokey Stick for lethal. Or you can wildcard for lethal, either one. Can also do this. There. We have lethal. Well, that could have gone significantly worse. We just lost 30 health on the first encounter. Oh. Am I kidding? That was incredibly bad. Singular will. We can now recall all other units and landmarks. It's tempting, I'm going to pick it up. Gold chest, spell chest, champion item chest. Let's see if we can get a decent item for Twisted Fate. Deck Evolution can give it some lethality, but I think Warding Sigil or Warding Charm is better because of the spell shield. Now, can we deal with the Huru Cultist, which is a more aggressive encounter? Or do I go for the Aspiring Chronomancer, which is slower, but it has more lethality once it gets going? Oh, let's go for the Bohuru Cultist. Might be a mistake. But they don't have a lot of removal, so we should be able to stick units onto the board fairly easily. Skip the Pharaoh's Financer, Candlelit Prayer to allow me to shuffle bad cards back into the deck. And actually do this assembly line. And the opponent immediately goes for an attack with his Huru Cultist. That's a high roll from the opponent as well. Well, at least now we have two blockers that trade favorably into the opponent's units. We'll toss that Twisted Fate back into the deck when we really need one. Okay, this is perfect. Now we have a bunch of chump blockers. I doubt the opponent's going to want to trade all of his units in. He does hold some back, but I am taking a built-in damage from the piercing bolts. Well, at least they don't have any more Uhuru cultists in the deck. But they are ahead on resources. I'm going to Twisted Fate here. Try to draw into something good.
Eyes open.
Seriously doubt the opponent can
Get bloody.
deal damage this turn. This sucks. We have no spells to play. My next turn is going to be terrible. I'm going to take 2 damage guaranteed from the Crackshot Corsair. I've generated no wild cards. Taking 2 damage from the freaking Falling Chakram. Can do Pokey Stick, try to cycle. Do something good here. 1 mana, pick a card, I
I think
guess.
it's luck. It's an awesome
This is a whole bunch of nothing.
I've got us covered.
scalper for us.
Can I can do this, use the gold card to stun, do that there, take 8. Can trade the Twisted Fate in, but I'll lose Twisted Fate. I'm going to keep the Twisted Fate around because we are coming up on turn 6, so we're going to be able to start double casting our spells.
The sea beasts of Pharaoh.
Let's do Pharaoh Financer. I guess we're taking this. Worst case scenario, we'll double Unlicensed Innovation, get to 5/5s. Of course, the Elusive gets buffed up to Oblivion. I can absolutely mess up the opponent by just doing this, recalling everything he owns. But at the same time, do I even want to do that? We have 9 cards in hand, we can Pokey Stick, go up to 10. Ooh, we level up Twisted Fate.
This game's heating up.
I guess we have kept him around for a while. Let's shuffle this thing back into the deck.
Shuffle.
We can do Patrol Warden.
Last thing you'll see.
Can't really generate any more wild cards though. Guess we can do Pilfer Goods to draw Billion. Let's do Imminent Patent Factor. I need something here. If I could get some healing, that would be great. But I can't.
I've got
Guess we'll pick the cheap option. For 9 cards in hand. Guess we'll cycle.
Eyes open.
Trying to draw into something playable.
I have unfinished business.
I'm forcing the opponents to develop next turn.
Oh, you'll scream.
So I'm going to attack with everything. Force blocks from the opponent. He has all of that. Then I can do Singular Will. We recall everything, but we also recall everything the opponent has. We are overdrawing by a bunch. We still have a fair decent amount of cards in the deck, so it's probably fine.
Let my blood sing with the one truth.
We're going to draw a billion here, yep. We do double unlicensed innovation. Guess it's fine.
Who says I don't share?
Our next spellcast is going to be a stun for the... No, it's no longer a stun for the Crackshot Corsair, never mind. Guess I can do this to block the Crackshot Corsair. Or maybe do the wild card.
Captain's orders. Bullet to the
Oh, right. Barrage prevents the Silent Shadow Seer from blocking.
Hold it, partner.
I can still stun the Crackshot Corsair though. At least there's that. Please stop with the damage. I'm taking so much damage just through burn. The opponent's still at full health. Can drop down Vi, but Vi just draws me more cards. It's a disaster. This kills the board. Shuffles more cards into the deck.
Something for all.
Can I even do here? Let's drop down the 3-drop. Let's do this.
Shuffle.
If the opponent doesn't develop something here, I fully intend to just draw until I have enough damage on board. Because it seems like he's just not doing anything anymore. He does have a lot of equipment, but I don't know if that's the only thing he has. There it is. Now that he no longer has any cards in hand, I might have an opportunity to kill him.
Soak it in.
How many cards do I have in deck? 9. Let's further increase our damage. I think we need it. Let's just do a bunch of pokey sticks, really cement our victory. That's it. This is more than enough. Do a casual 87 damage. I think that's how we need to win the game. Just try to stick some units onto the board and then draw a billion cards, buff up the attack of my units, and go for a big swing. But we don't even have that much survivability in the beginning of the game, so I don't know how viable that strategy actually is. Burning Shot, Barbed Chain, all of these are terrible. This gives me a blocker in the beginning of the game, so sure. I guess line them up is pretty decent. Yeah, I'll take line them up. 2 mana, summon a blocker, and the powder barrels are nice as well. Definitely keeping at least one line them up. The opponent is likely to pull the Hostile Disciple here. How do I want to do this? Let's do Pharaoh's Financer. Get something down nice and early.
I help when I can. Shut up when I can't.
I was about to say that's fine, but that's not really fine. At least it seems like the opponent doesn't have... Never mind, I was about to say it seems like the opponent doesn't really have a lot going on for him. But he gets a free attack on the first turn. And in order to not just straight up die, I have to do this. I wish she would go for the open attack this turn.
I deal in coins and cards.
Never mind, he doesn't go for an open attack, he instead develops enough units to just deal a billion damage to my face. 9 damage. A gust of wind will kill me. If he has any sort of spells to give the Twisted Fate vulnerable and then he uses the re-attack vulnerable, I just lose, but I have nothing better to do.
Blue as the serpent.
You can also do that on the powder keg, in which case I'm screwed too, or that just goes for blood in the water, kills me. Yeah, I can't do anything about that. There goes my revive. Yeah, that's it. Well, it could be worse. At least I didn't lose my revive right at the start. It took a while to get us there. But I have a full health pool now. Next, after the next encounter, I'll go back to full health. So things could be significantly worse. I don't really know if this is a good setup. At the very least, I'll be able to go for the assembly line on the first turn. Maybe the opponent won't have the same overpowering first few turns. This is huge. I can even do
Get you noticed round here.
the assembly line for less, for 1 mana. I'll do it for 1. I'll save the Poké Stick for something else. Now I even have a wild card. I fully intend to just use this for Sign Disciple to trade into something. I know I'll need it. Let's do this. This kills one of the opponent's units, sets up a kill on the bird. Can easily do that with a wild card. Wild card onto the red card. Let's cycle this one. Twisted Fate. The opponent captures 2 units here. That much I know. Yep. I can... How do I minimize the amount of damage I take here? I guess it's always line them up. Develop a jump blocker for the Sheriff. That way we only take 9, then next turn we do Twisted Fate. We do Twisted Fate, then we... the following turn we try to go for a wild card for a red card, clear one of the opponent's units. Guess I can even do it for 2 damage using the barrel. Sure. Let's work on releasing one of my units now. Just in case the opponent has a piece of removal for Twisted Fate. We now have more mana to work with.
Today we hunt.
We need to draw into something. Really want that wild card or those wild cards. So let's do this.
Stacking the odds.
We'll do this. We'll develop the assembly line for free. This gives us a wild card. He captures the Twisted Fate here. The freaking sparring students up to 10 attack them. Yes, I can do red card, clear one of the opponent's units. Now I have more units on the board than he does units on his. He's going to capture 1 billion units here. I'm going to take 1 billion damage too. But I can get him on the next turn. Shark Trainer pays for itself, so we'll drop him down alongside the Twisted Fate. We're even going to use Twisted Fate to draw.
The Serpentine.
That would have been useful a while ago, but fine. He's up to 10 attack already. Can now start double casting our spells. Do I want to do singular will this turn? I don't know. Well, this releases 1 unit and makes me go up to 10 cards in hand, so let's do this.
Save this for us.
Let's do line them up. Just to get some units onto the board, get a bunch of barrels. This way I can use red cards to really soften up the opponent's board. I can use the nab to draw 4. So I really want to empty my hand as much as possible. The thing is, I can't really empty my hand as much as I would like. I think this is the best I can do. Actually, we draw 6 from this. Ooh, that's a good card to steal.
I guess you can.
And now finally, Twisted Fate is finally leveled up. You know what, let's just attack with everything. The opponent wants to block, so be it.
Not my first gunfight.
I'll use the jailbreak. Get 2 blockers for the next turn. We'll also be refilling our board here with the captured unit. So this is not the worst thing in the world.
Who says I don't share?
I'm going to overdraw 1 billion though. Yep. Can use the blood in the water. This draws with the Twisted Fate. Let's do this. Get the draw out of the way.
Something for all of you.
Get rid of one of the opponent's units. I just really want to do blood in the water.
Board today.
Yep. We do blood in the water, we send off the opponent's units, we develop a wild card. We can then do this, stun 2 of the opponent's units.
All that glitters.
Just like so. And this should be more than enough to secure the victory. Okay. And now we have access to a Twisted Fate 1 turn early. With +2/+2. this. Let's do the Chamber of Renewal. Twisted Fate already has Spell Shield. I don't really want a landmark. I guess since this doesn't add a copy of the champion, it's fine for me to... it does actually add a copy of the champion. This makes the deck more inconsistent, but considering how much we're drawing every turn, it's probably fine. I don't think I want to cut cards from the deck. I want to heal instead. We don't really benefit from having a large deck, but considering how much we're drawing, I think the large deck is fine just to prevent ourselves from decking out. Especially against this encounter, which will require us to be a bit more controlly. This is an atrocious hand. Really wanted this turn to prevent the 12 damage from the clock hand. I guess we'll just take 12. Or I can use the Twisted Fate. We'll just use the Twisted Fate as a stun. Get him down one turn earlier. Also allows us to get more benefits from the Archangel Staff. Okay, we hit a 3. It's pretty good. The opponent's developing a lot. He's going to kill the Twisted Fate with the Preservationist. But if it does, I'm not really going to be that upset. Because I can just develop another Twisted Fate, in fact. The problem is the amount of clocklings the opponent's getting, though. The opponent's developing a scary amount of clocklings and I have no way to deal with them. I guess I can try and set up a singular will somehow. Next turn we will have 8 mana. Never mind, the opponent hit a second time bomb, so Twisted Fate dies here. Oh, he blundered. He had the victory there. But now I think I can swing the board back, yeah. I'll just use Singular Will on the Twisted Fate. And now he has to redevelop everything. I bought myself a turn. Oh, but I also recall the vault. Is that how it works? Well, I just made this game harder for myself. I didn't know that it would also recall the vault. Deal 3 to everything. Guess we'll deal 3 to everything.
Something for all.
Try to get rid of the clocklings somehow. And we'll use the knock them down. That's a 12-12. Or another 12-12. Oh crap. How many cards do I have in hand? 8. I want to do the Twisted Fate. Pick a card? Nah. Oh, but at least the opponent's set the full hands. He can't really do much, right? I can go for another Singular Will. I'm going to do it. It completely messes up the opponent's attacking turn. I have no more champions in my deck. It seems the opponent was still able to develop units onto the board, however. Do I get the Twisted Fate next turn before the proc on the landmark? Yes, I do. Perfect. Let's do this. Let's do gold card, I
Oh, it's
guess.
a fair game. Hold it, partner.
Can do Patrol
Just
Warden.
keeping the peace.
Can deal 2 to everything again with the Destiny card. Get another Destiny card. Or Wild card. Guess I can do this to draw. Getting a turn where I can safely play the landmark again is going to be hard. Go for the goods. Maybe I'll be able to... Maybe I'll be able to mill the opponent. This does mill 4, and the opponent has a tendency to draw a considerable amount. Okay, for the first time in this game,
What seems to be the problem?
I'm actually in a decent position. Can even kill the opponent's unit here.
Eyes open.
No lit prayer. Let's drop it down. Twisted Fate is close to leveling up. We have 14 cards in deck. Let's put this back in. It's a meh. That front. That would have been a good card to play. Finally, we can replay the landmark. Maybe we can
Stacking the odds.
try to proc the landmark a bunch of times. Unfortunately, we hit a 7. We're going to draw a billion next turn. We don't really want to draw now. Maybe I can grow the patrol wardens enough to the point where it's fine to attack. That's a level of Twisted
I
Fate.
guess you can win.
Can potentially go for a stun here. Shark Trainer here is also good.
Soak it in.
Can do attack. Try to start trimming away the opponent's units. Never mind, right. Scout makes that happen. That's not so good.
Hold it, partner.
Guess we can slowly chip away at the opponent's board like this. Please trade your units in, opponent. Okay. He could just decide not to trade anything in. Just let himself take the damage because he has a billion health to work with. I'm going to draw a bunch next turn. 18, 15. We can mill him for 4. 4 plus 4, 8. We can mill him for 8. Do I even have the cards that prevent me from decking out in my deck? Or have I already drawn them all? I'm not sure. Well, let's develop a blocker by doing this. Work on
Blue as the
work on counting down a landmark in the process as well. 6, I don't have 6 unfortunately. That's an unfortunate hit. I would have really liked to get the hit on the 6. This Twisted Fate here.
Do you know who I am?
Maybe not. Maybe we don't lose Twisted Fate here. Can do this. Clear the opponent's entire board.
something for home.
But we need to stop drawing. We do lose Twisted Fate here. I wasn't paying attention. As Twisted Fate run his course. Maybe. Five. We can do 5. 14. We get hit with another 5, it seems. Yeah, we get hit with another 5. Can do this. Try to trade into the opponent's units. Yep. That's a fine trade. Let's do 5, see if we can get a 2. Yep, perfect. Wait. Why didn't this unit go down to 1? I figured it would go down to 1. I miscounted the amount of damage it would take. Oh, let's do this 2 then. Now we have a 3. I'll save the wildcard for the next turn. 7. Where am I going to get a 7 game? Explain it to me. Deals 1 to everything.
Sleight of hand.
I'm just going to do Twisted Fate to try and wildcard for a bunch of stuns.
Dead in their tracks.
Can do wild card for a red card. Clear the opponent's entire board. Perfect. Oh, this is being tricky. I think I want to Vault Breaker. Vice Vault Breaker here just to secure more time for us by shuffling more Vice into the deck. Yeah, I think that's the play. We have the spare mana, and this also works to buff up the Vi.
Someone's gonna pay.
Thanks to the focusing crystal. He grows his units by a bunch, but that's fine. We have 2, we can do 2.
Stacking the odds.
That's a 6, we don't have 6. But we can draw into the 6 by drawing from the opponent's deck. Can also try to steal the Time Has Come. He has a bunch of the Time Has Come in his deck. Let's see if we hit the Time Has Come. That's not the Time Has Come. That's not the Time Has Come either. That's not it. This is it. Let's just do this to go ahead and get some cards into my deck. Can actually do Preservationist here. Count on my own landmark. Oh, I just win next turn. Perfect. Oh, that was extremely tricky. I'm not really feeling it against Ezreal, to be honest. We took so much time to close out this game. We're not getting this amount of time against Ezreal. The opponent's just going to grind me down through burn. Philosopher's Stone, Bonded Bucklers. I don't really want to do Philosopher's Stone, but I don't have a better option. Like Philosopher's Stone just causes me to die. Ooh, explosive finale might be the lethality we need. It was pretty good with Jhin. Okay, so Ruin Runner. Can we deal with Ruin Runner? Not really. But against the honest group here, I don't think we'll have a better shot either. Do I risk my chances against the Ruin Runner? The deck is rather slow. Each round, the first time the player creates a card in hand, the foe steals it, it costs 0 in its splitting. It's going to get my own Twisted Fate. Do I need the Twisted Fates from the Grand General's counterplan to win? Well, I don't think we're winning against the Ruin Runner, so I have to go for this. Oh, what an atrocious end. Plus everything back, give me something good. This is a bit better. Let's do Candlelit Prayer. Try to cycle this Twisted Fate, I guess, since we have created one. He probably blocks here. I think I will do that just to get some use out of that card. Give the deal some damage to the opponent's unit.
Hope I didn't need that. Where do you stand on cold shots?
Let's draw. Guess we'll do this, just create some blockers. The opponent so far hasn't done anything too threatening. Except that. Giving the Lizard the honest Croupier stealth is a problem. Guess he can get the deal 1 to anything. If you waste it on my Nexus or on the barrel, it's fine. He uses it on the spell shield. That's probably the best case scenario.
Hope I didn't need that.
So I can freely develop Twisted Fate. Let's draw.
Up for a round or two. Soak it in.
Drawing a nice amount of cards. I don't want him to actually get the Destiny cards. How many cards have I played this turn? 1. This is the second. So let's just develop and be done. Next turn he gets the Twisted Fate. But I'd rather him having the Twisted Fate than him having the card from the wild cards. This.
Let him think it's luck.
I'm going to use the nab like this. Just because I want to do quick stun for 4 or 3 to everything. Let's do stun for 4 because that prevents the opponent drawing cards.
Never lost a fair game. Play rules. Something for all.
Right. These cards deal more damage than mine.
Thought I'd game you.
Come on then.
You're bluffing.
I take the 3 here.
Charmed, I'm sure.
I get no backup TF, so yeah, let's take the 3 here. I have no backup in case the Twisted Fate dies. And he's very likely to die.
That's my tail.
At least my Twisted Fate leveled up first. But this Twisted Fate does get the same items mine has. I shouldn't have gone for this encounter.
Let him think it's love.
Maybe the opponent decks himself out. He is going to be drawing a bunch. Maybe that's the play. He has 15 cards in deck. And he's going to be drawing a whole bunch here.
Eyes open.
12 cards in hand. I even want to capture the Twisted Fate. Yeah, sure, let's do it. It resets the level up progress on the Twisted Fate. Then what? Let's do Swindle. Bilgewater Tailstones is interesting. Let's do Swindle for the heal.
Hold it, partner.
Want to get more cards in my deck? Not really. Can drop down the Vi.
Always got time for
Try to deal damage that way.
You and me both.
Let's do red card. Chip away at the opponent's board.
I'm a people person.
Swindle. Swindle into Swindle. It's like wishing for more wishes. Pokey Stick. Yes, Pokey Stick in his hand. That means the decking out game plan probably doesn't work anymore. But maybe the opponent will mess up.
Coming to save the day. Or wreck it. Face me fist.
He did seem rather keen on drawing cards. And he is going to be drawing a bunch here. That includes his Twisted Fates.
I'm always up for
There, Twisted Fate. Deal 2 to everything. Or, really? You would choose to deal 2 to everything over drawing more cards. But the second twist... Wait, those Twisted Fates no longer have items? The one you got just a bit ago had items on it. Why did it change? What happened to make it so? I don't know, but the opponent's dangerously close to decking out.
I'm a people person.
Let's see who backs down. Surprise, surprise.
Hey opponent, do you want to draw 2 cards? I think it would be really good for you if you drew 2 cards. I have ways to make him draw 2 cards. I don't know if I can find them this turn, however. Wait, this kills everything. Okay, it's the gold card. The gold card kills everything.
Face me fist.
Head in there
Okay. Let's just some treasure. Put some pressure onto the board. He draws one here. Right, he gets my Twisted Fate now. Yeah, I think it's probably because I released the Twisted Fate that cleared the items up. Because it was technically the opponent's Twisted Fate and not mine.
Eyes open.
Mine has items on it, the opponent's doesn't.
Never lost a fair game. Played one.
Stunning the Vi. But he has now decked himself out. Let's do the barrels. This way Twisted Fate dies.
All that glitters.
He has 5 mana to work with. Can he win with 5 mana? Maybe. This is not good. This is not good either. Do I go for a card draw? I think I do this.
Someone's gonna pay.
This buffs up the attack of one of my units. Then I can do this, buff up everything else. Draw 2. Yeah, I just want him to place something here. Okay, perfect. Now I doubt he has enough mana to pose a threat to me. This, we'll wildcard again. Let's try to raise the attack of our units to the point where we can kill him this turn. Vault Breaker.
Build rules, son.
Can Vault Breaker for 1. Can also do this. Pick a card on this. Free up some hand space so I can safely do this. I draw 2 here. Oh, there it is. About time you showed up. Well, now it's a little bit too late for that game plan. Well, the opponent now dies next turn, so let's just force the attack here. He no longer has any mana to play, so he ended up playing himself. Yeah, this opponent has a rather small deck, and the fact that he decided to copy Twisted Fate's champion spell like 3 times just meant that he went through half of his deck like in 1 turn. And that's not really that good for you. Smooth Soloist, you know what? That's probably going to end up being cheap. So sure. Don't want the money. Extra items on the Twisted Fate, I guess. Symptom Conservator, damn, this entire run is taking a billion years. I guess when you take on every encounter for like almost 10 minutes, that's what happens. Definitely want to keep the assembly line Candlelit Prayer. It's probably the best thing we can do in this deck. I was about to complain about us not getting Twisted Fate, but I forgot that we get the Twisted Fate just by existing. Huh. We don't actually get to assembly line on the first turn, that's annoying. I want to Static Shock, you know what, I'll save the spell mana for the next turn. Depending on what the opponent does here. Yeah, let's draw 1. Then I can do the most optimal of play in terms of mana efficiency is Twisted Fate, blue card, assembly line. But the one that saves me the most health is just raw assembly line. And I think I have to do that. We do assembly line. And then we line them up. Just use the Poro to block the 8-6 that we only take 4. It hurts, but it doesn't hurt as much as it could have otherwise. Now we can do Twisted Fate for card draw. That's fine. That's only a debuff because you have more mana than I do. There goes my Twisted Fate. Crap. I don't even have landmark removal. At least I can drop down the Patrol Wardens. Destroy one of your mana gems, delay 2 unit. Well, at least he now has less mana to work with. And next turn I can use the wild card to stun the Centum Conservator.
Gods alone judge who is worthy.
I can do the second Twisted Fate here. Stun 2 units instead of just stunning 1. We stun the second one. Then we can block here. I guess we only take
What seems to be the problem?
6 damage if I do this. I think we care about our health more than we care about the board state. Surely the opponent's out of removal by now. But these units are growing rather large. I don't know if I can deal with them anymore. Shuffle this back into the deck.
Let him think it's luck.
Let's try to cycle the Static Shock. Kind of want to remove the Overwhelm unit. That stuns, or that prevents both from happening. Let's Pokey Stick. Try to draw into something good. Assembly line is good. Very good, in fact. Kind of wanted to use the wild card for a stun. I should probably still go for that game plan. It's the only way to prevent the Rampaging Bakai from dealing damage. We now have 2 leveled up Twisted Fates. I should get Vi down as soon as possible and try to double cast Vi's champion spell. Let's stun everything. And draw a billion cards in the process too. Am I going to lose by decking myself out? That's a very real possibility. Definitely want to get Vi down.
Show you a little sleight of hand.
Nothing
Let's
slide
do
about me,
Shark Bait, definitely. Let's take the damage, sure. Take the 3. Doesn't really matter by this point, I think. We're taking the discards on those cards. Just because this turn we can just stun everything. And the opponent only has 1 card in hand, so it better be a good card, because otherwise he just loses. I have 19 cards in deck. With 19 cards I'm not at risk of decking myself out, at least. Not for now. Nothing. That's incredibly suspicious. Not going to use the stun just yet. Let's drop down a Sump Dredger because it's larger than one of the units I have. Nothing yet again. Pilfered goods. Draw a billion from the opponent's deck. I'm not really doing it because of the cards in the opponent's deck, it's just so I can buff up my units. This deals the most damage. And it passes priority back to the opponent. See what he has. Just Ruinous Path, okay. That amounts to a whole lot of nothing in the grand scheme of things, because your entire board is stunned. Oh! That was pretty quick for a Grim with this deck. We only took like 3 I would say 5 minutes to kill the opponent. Definitely more assembly lines, we need the board presence. I also want a shop, maybe we can get a good power here. Dunning Age. I'll take it. Makes some of the more awkward to play cards a bit more useful. And I'm re-rolling here. I was hoping to get some decent cards here. Guess the Master Lookout is a good first turn play, and it contributes toward the number of cards I draw at the start of the game. So sure. I want to cut a card or do I want to heal? I'm going to heal myself up. I only have one shot, better make it the best I can by having the largest amount of health possible to spend. Definitely want to toss that back into the deck. The opponent starts off with an Ezreal. Ezreal is extremely scary and I don't have a way to remove him. Okay, that's not the worst thing he could have duplicated. Okay, that's the worst thing he could have duplicated. Fortunately, it chose to duplicate the freaking Buckeye Reaper instead of the Ezreal, which is an actually good card. Well, at least I can do this. Immediately capture the opponent's Ezreal. Start working on controlling the board through attacks and generating the short tooths. Honestly, this is the best case scenario for me. One Ezreal down, a billion more to go. No. Wait, what? I guess the opponent really hates this Boom Baboon. Let's do this. We're cycling the wild card. Ah, that's why. He wanted to use the Ancient Malediction a billion times on my own unit to reduce its attack. And thus flood my hand with garbage. It's fine. We'll trade in here, here, and here. He is going to get a Mystic Shot that double casts and heals him. But I can't do anything about that. I can updraft the curses, unfortunately. I'm going to updraft the Shimon Wind. It's not going to be relevant. At least I don't think. Really, you don't want to play that card? Why? What would motivate you to do that? Anyway, let's try to chip away the opponent's board. He's duplicating the Ezreal yet again. But the Ezreal no longer has deathless, so either he goes for a big kill turn here, or all of that duplication just amounts to anything, to nothing in the grand scheme of things. It seems like it amounts to nothing. Let's do line them up. Just get the barrel going. I suppose I can't really attack with the shark trainer anymore. But that's fine. All of those deal damage to the opponent's nexus when they die. And now I have spare mana to work with. Can I kill the Ezreal this turn?
Check me out.
Can do stuff, definitely. Let's updraft this back into the deck. It's not going to be useful anytime soon. Can try to deal 2 here, 2 here. The opponent's going to have to pass priority back to me after this spell cast. Can draw 1. Can do... Need to do stuff at a speed that allows me to do more. So I'll do this, shuffle this back into the deck.
Stacking the odds.
I might have to do stun on the destiny card or on the wild card. That's probably the correct choice.
One shot.
Yeah, because he attacks with Ezreal. So I'm going to stun here, prevent the Ezreal from dealing damage and creating a mystic shot. Then let's manifest something good. Divine Whirlwind is decent.
When I can. Shut up when I can.
And I think I just Sumo Soloist for the
Surrender.
body on board. Now I have some backup Twisted Fates. I have a Vi in hand. Twisted Fate is actually leveled up,
Game's heating up.
so I get cards every turn. The Divine Whirlwind has its cost reduced. Dawning Age has been working overtime to allow me to play this for 3. Do I want to try to remove the Ezreal right away? Or do I want to do something else? Oh, let's try to get rid of the Ezreal. Let's hope it works. Please don't kill me with just burn from hand. He's stopping all of the spells and skills. Damn. But he is screwing his own mana in the process. So things could be worse. Honestly, I think Vi is fine here.
I'm gonna show you a little sleight of hand.
Nothing slight about these hands.
If we do Vi here, we can start buffing her up. And I think that's going to be
Something for all.
an important contribution to my win this game. Can attack safely with
Trouble.
Twisted Fate. In fact, you can attack safely with everything here.
Make your papa proud, Tom.
Let's make sure we get use out of the Shark Trainer. Okay. I'm pretty sure this is the first Ezreal only. He still has more in the deck. How many cards we have in deck? 24? Okay. We're not at risk of decking out. That's a problem. Let's finally use the terror. Do I want to pick a card? Let's pick a card on the Twisted Fate.
Stacking the odds.
This stuns one of the opponent's units. If he wants to develop another unit here, both of the opponent's units get stunned.
Time
Okay, that's the Ezreal. That's the second Ezreal, in fact. Can actually do this. Use the knock him down to remove the Ezreal spell shield. Make it a bit easier to deal with. Really? Let's stun. That stuns both of the opponent's units.
Dead in their tracks.
He only has 2 mana to work with. And we're still relatively healthy. Can do this. Get the Deathless out of the Ezreal just in... If he already used all of the 3 mirages he had, so he can no longer duplicate the Ezreal, but just in case. Just in case he gets something out of nowhere. Okay, so let's Vault Breaker here. Work on getting more Vi's into the deck. If I could give Vi the Overwhelm keyword, that would be huge, but I don't think I can. It's fine. We can drop this down. We'll draw 2 with the Static Shock here. Kill those 2. Honestly, I'm only winning this game because the opponent chose not to kill the Shark Trainer when he had the chance. I don't know why he did that. I guess he really hated that Boom Baboon. So this. Shuffle the Twisted Fates back into the deck. I suppose I can do this. Stun most of the opponent's board. And then attack with everything else. Well, let's see what he has in the deck. Time has come. Clockling. Oh, he still had a Shimmering Mirage. Well, not anymore because I stole it. In fact, let's do this. I feel like I benefit from having a second Vi here.
Hit 'em where it eats this.
You're up, Daladir.
Ooh. That was actually pretty decent.
Coming to
Considering the way some of the other encounters went, I'd say we fared above average against Ezreal.
knockout.
I was definitely carried by the what's it called? Whenever one of the opponent's units dies outside of combat, they take 4. That was definitely the thing that gave us the extra lethality we needed to close out the game. We dealt a bunch of cheap damage to the opponent's nexus that way on the last encounter. Without it, the win would have been completely impossible in my opinion. Oh, what a run. So yeah, that will be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Till then.